Good morning. Thank you all for being here, and thank goodness the weather has cooperated. It's going to be a wonderful morning. Welcome to all of you viewing us online. Those of you live in the audience, if you will please silence your phones. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Keystone's graduating class of 2020. Kishore Kumar Reddy Batla. Patrick Thomas Conroy. Paul Eugene Conroy. Donald Eric Duggan. Benjamin Akiva Felsen. Caitlin Minsha Fleming. Griffin Wen Gallagher. Emma Sophia Guy Bishel. Great shoes. Kiri Tracy Hulk. Minji Kim. Ingrid Varela Mayer. Dylan James McManus. Victoria Eileen Nelson. Mario Gerard Nicholas. Jack Parker Ostrage. Yuki Penn. Tira Parker. Nicholas James Radwin. Stephanie Kristen Rao. Sofia Isabella Rios. Lyra Iris Sky Rodriguez. Beryl Lara Saidian. Noah Liam Spitz. Erica Blair Stalker. Aditi Subramanya. Isabella Grace Sullivan. Jada Simone Young. Our head of school, Billy Handmaker, will welcome you.
Good morning. Welcome to graduation. What a gorgeous day. Seniors, when we asked you what you wished for graduation, you were adamant that you wanted to graduate in person with your classmates and with your families. Well, here we are. This past Thursday evening, I had dinner with a head of school from New Mexico, and she was so envious when I told her we were doing a live graduation since her school had done a drive-through. I told her that you all really wanted this. You are a great class, and if it were possible, we wanted to make it happen. Seniors, thank you for persisting. Thank you also to Ms. Christensen and the graduation committee, including Mr. Shiravino, Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Flynn, Mr. Spedding, Mr. Moore, and Nurse Penny. We met twice a week. It met here, we met on Zoom. There's much work that went into it, and I want to thank all of them for all their hard work. I also want to thank the facilities team and the technology team for all the hard work they put into making this morning happen so people could attend either in person or virtually. Thank you all. And seniors, before we do anything else, I would like all of us, and that means you all, to recognize your parents and families and the Keystone faculty and staff who helped all of you all get to this point. Let's give them a round of applause. It's now my pleasure to hand the microphone back to Mr. Spedding, my friend, my colleague, and the only person I know who can arrange a pizza delivery to 27 different people simultaneously.
Thank you, Mr. Handmaker. Could everyone please stand for an instrumental version of America the Beautiful? Due to health concerns, we politely ask folks to refrain from singing. Music. Thank you. You may be seated. We're going to take this moment here while everyone is fresh and looking wonderful before the sun gets to us to get a group shot of the senior class. Those in the very back, if you don't mind, just parting over a little bit so you won't be in the shot. The seniors, just stay where you are. Thank you. Iris. Thank you. Thank you, seniors. This year's Salutatorian is a Keystone lifer, an accomplished creative writer, and one of our female co-athletes of the year. And yes, I actually have your plaque now. She has an amazing energy about her and always went the extra mile to make sure all Keystone students felt appreciated and welcome. She was a great leader with Literary Magazine and helped organize Stone Souls, some of our most treasured community celebrations. We will miss her infectious kindness around campus, on the volleyball and basketball courts, and with her beloved Literary Magazine. Here to welcome you on behalf of the class of 2020 is Salutatorian Stephanie Rao.
Good morning. On behalf of the class of 2020, I'd like to thank you all for being here today to celebrate the closing of this chapter of our lives. I'm pretty sure I can speak for everyone when I say we didn't think our senior year would end like this. There's a lot of things we didn't experience that we had looked forward to, but we are all grateful to have this opportunity to stand before everyone and say we made it. Thank you so much to Mr. Spedding, Mr. Handmaker, Ms. Christensen, Mr. Shervino, and everyone else for making this happen. For those of you who don't know, I'm a lifer at Keystone, meaning I've been here since kindergarten. I have memories spanning years, from the entire class getting red cards in Miss Lavelle's class, to eating several of Miss Obregon's butter-covered tortillas during aftercare. And it's these memories that I'll carry for the rest of my life. Our years at Keystone, whether they be 13 or 3, have not been easy nor short by any means, but they've been meaningful and life-changing. This is largely because of the people I've been surrounded by. So thank you guys. We're one of the smaller classes at Keystone to graduate, but we're definitely one of the closest. A lot of people have come and gone in these 13 years, but I can't imagine graduating with anyone else other than those who sit in front of me. Thank you guys really for the most amazing childhood. I'd also like to thank our teachers from kindergarten to senior year, who have encouraged us to explore our interests and curiosities and who have pushed us past our limits when we had thought we had already reached them. At the moment, this push may have been exhausting, but we can look back with gratitude on Ms. Elizondo's demanding 4 essays in 50 minutes, or Dr. Caraway and Ms. Elizondo working together to help us understand the complexities of the French Revolution. The staff at Keystone has always been here for us, from the morning to the evening. From 7:45 a.m. calc tutoring sessions to long bus rides after late night games. I have no doubt that our class will succeed in college and future endeavors because of what our teachers have taught us. The lessons that will stick with us aren't found in the books we've read or the formulas we've memorized, but have come from the people. I've learned that an amazing community like Keystone is absolutely essential to success. People like Mr. Jason, Miss Penny, and Mr. Shervino will be there to help you so long as you ask and so long as you show them your heart and your effort. You can truly go anywhere you want surrounded by a community like this. Lastly, thank you to our parents who have given us countless of opportunities, celebrated our victories, and supported us through our failures. Despite them embarrassing us, like my mom, telling me to shoot a half-court shot in the middle of a basketball playoff game when I'd already missed my last 7 shots, and there was plenty of time left on the clock. They are truly our biggest fans. They've been there for us from the start, helping us out with school projects and driving miles to get us to school every day. Some parents even doing this during senior year. Imagine that. To the very end, walking us through spirit tunnels during senior night and helping us pack for college. It's easy to take our parents for granted, but genuinely, from each one of us to you, thank you so much for loving us even when we made it hard. We love you so much more than we say. At the end of the day, it is those that have given us their unconditional love and support, whether they're sitting before us or not, that we thank for getting us to where we are now. Thank you.
Take that out. Congratulations. Thank you, Stephanie. Invited by the class of 2020 to deliver the faculty charge is math teacher Sean Lindsay.
Check. Keystone class of 2020. Thank you for the great honor of speaking with you and your families on this significant occasion. While this has certainly not been the way that you envisioned this moment years ago, do not allow the current circumstances to diminish the importance of this waypoint in a lifelong journey that is just beginning. In her book of essays, Letter to My Daughter, Maya Angelou writes, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud." I was in such a cloud this past quarter. Like many of you, I was feeling a bit disconnected and overwhelmed by the sudden shift in the status quo. My days had become a fog of redundancy. Managing multiple virtual classrooms and a bustling household left me little time for reflection or relaxation. Then, one day, an unexpected package arrived at my door. In it was my rainbow, a vibrant collection of handwritten notes from members of this amazing group of graduates. The memories shared and gratitude expressed in these notes lifted my spirits in that moment, but the true cascading impact of this gesture came days later. My partner Sarah was tidying up the chaotic mess of books, cords, and devices that was my home workspace when she came across your notes. Unbeknownst to me, she read them all and was so moved that she shared pieces of them with my parents. Y'all made my mama cry, and I need to thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time to write, organize, and send these, especially those of you that transcribe them for your less industrious classmates. You cannot often predict the second or third order effects of your actions, even the small ones, but know that the impact of this good act grew exponentially. Let me share a hard truth with you today. This world needs saving, and not one of you is going to be the one that saves it. The problems we've left to you are far too complex and deeply ingrained for any one of you to fix. Right now, civilization is at some type of critical point, and whether that point is a relative minimum or if we've already reached our absolute maximum is to be determined by our collective actions in the very near future. I want to believe that we're at a point of inflection, where the curve of humanity's arc is turning back toward the good. This is where you come in. Over the next few years, you will be on a journey to find yourself. You will find that there are many things at which you are bad, some things at which you are good, and even fewer things at which you are truly great. My charge to you today is to find those few things and pour yourself into them. In this next chapter of your life, hone your talents. Then, bend your undeniable potential towards the benefit of others. The world needs you, all of you, at this critical point. No one is expecting you alone to save the world, but your small acts, in concert with those of others, might be enough to bend humanity's arc towards progress. Along your journey, you will inevitably experience setbacks, unforeseen circumstances, and resistance to change, but don't be reduced by them. Succeed in spite of them. Sometimes the world seems against you. The journey may leave a scar, but scars can heal and reveal just where you are. The people you love will change you, the things you have learned will guide you, and nothing on the earth can silence the quiet voice inside you. And when that voice starts to whisper, listen to it. Trust in yourself and know that we are with you and want nothing more than your success on your terms. Unfortunately, the world is facing vast problems and needs saving. But there is no question that it is worth saving. Your good deeds alone will not be enough to save the world, but you'll never know which ones might be enough to save someone, and that is enough to make it worth your effort. Carl Sagan once said, "For small creatures such as we, the vastness is bearable only through love." Carry love for your fellow humans with you everywhere you go. Thank you to this wonderful class of exceptional human beings. I am forever grateful for your presence in my life. You give us hope.
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. This year's Valedictorian is so multi-talented. She is impactful, documenting Keystone life through her work on yearbook, but she's also a major contributor to academic RollQuest championship teams. She's active in robotics and tennis at school and YOSA outside of it. All these activities have kept her incredibly busy. Yet she has been knocking it out of the park academically from her arrival at Keystone as a ninth grader. One of my favorite memories of her was when she displayed some incredible Korean rap skills during a school performance, but I really shouldn't have been surprised that she would be good at that too. Please welcome to the stage Keystone's Class of 2020 Valedictorian, Minji Kim.
Hello. Good
Good morning, fellow graduates, parents, teachers, and administrators. Before we begin, I would like to thank Mr. Hammaker, Mr. Spedding, Mrs. Christensen, Mrs. Penny, and Mr. C for arranging senior appreciation events during distance learning, and most importantly, for organizing this in-person graduation to celebrate our class's accomplishments. The last few months of our senior year looked very different from what we had expected. Things we had looked forward to, senior skip day, prank day, senior prom, college announcement day, and senior Stonesville, were all canceled due to the pandemic. But through these trying times, our administration has helped us navigate this loss and found ways to allow us to enjoy some of these celebrations while in distance learning. So thank you, Mr. Spedding, for surprising us with pizzas on skip day, Mrs. Christensen for arranging an online college announcement ceremony, and Mr. Hammaker, Mrs. Penny, Mr. Spedding, and Mrs. Christensen for delivering senior signs. Although ending 12 years of education during a pandemic was not ideal, Keystone's caring and tight-knit community made the end of our senior year memorable, nevertheless. While on the topic of our special community, I would like to thank the people at the center of the Keystone experience, our teachers. Throughout the past 4 years, our teachers have continuously pushed for growth in our character and intellect. They have inspired us to delve deeper into topics that interest us, to think creatively, and to follow our passions. Mrs. Elizondo taught us how to read a wide range of literature, from Quentin's incomprehensible stream of consciousness in The Sound and the Fury to Charles Dickens' equally incomprehensible A Tale of Two Cities. Dr. Carraway taught us how to analyze everything, from Renaissance paintings to the Federalist Papers. And Mr. Neidiger taught us how to calculate everything, from muzzle velocities to chem titrations. But our teachers did more than just teach us how to take a derivative or how to spit out a 5-paragraph essay in 50 minutes. They built us into caring and thoughtful individuals who strive to bring positive change in the world. So thank you to all the teachers who guided us, from freshman year when we were overwhelmed with the new workload, to senior year when we were buried in college applications. Thanks to you all, we have made it this far. Along with the wonderful teachers, what has made my time at Keystone so special are the friends I have made over the years. When I first came to Keystone as a 9th grader, I was a super timid student who barely spoke to anyone. The volleyball team, which I left after 2 practices, thought I couldn't speak English. But I soon bonded with my classmates, who were welcoming and open, over Gaga Ball games at OPI, our first Halloween skit, and that one impossible bio test. We grew closer as we suffered through our first midterm season as high schoolers, as we left the prom venue to sit outside instead of dancing, and as we cheered each other on during Spirit War games. I've moved around a considerable amount in my life and have been in many different school communities, but Keystone's is exceptionally open and warm. Within a few months of joining the class, I felt like I was part of the Keystone family. And as part of this Keystone family, our class showed unconditional support for each other throughout the years, through difficulties and successes. At a school so academically rigorous, you would expect cutthroat competition and division. But our class always collaborated, sharing study guides and notes with one another, helping each other out during Hell Weeks, and celebrating each other's accomplishments. We felt joy from seeing each other succeed, more so than when we succeeded ourselves. Without this supportive atmosphere, none of us could have gone through 4 years of rigorous coursework. But we also wouldn't be the class of 2020 without all the goofy moments and silly jokes. From walking into this lounge in the morning to see Bella and Yuki yelling at each other, to microwaving calc worksheets, we have so many fun memories together. Untangling balloons on Valentine's Day, almost breaking the floor at junior year prom, making aluminum-free deodorant ads in English when we were teacherless, competing for pesos, and getting soaked in the rain at Yosemite while crawling through a spider cave. These are the moments that will stay with us forever and remind us of how wonderful our class is. Last, but certainly not least, I want to thank our parents. As we prepare to leave home and transfer into college life, we must not forget that we were able to make it this far thanks to our greatest supporters, our parents. They have held our hands through every step, from when we were tiny newborns to this very moment as we enter a new stage in our lives. They consoled us when we were feeling down, cheered us on when we were chasing after our goals, and supported us through challenging times. And most importantly, they showed us what unconditional love is. Although it would be impossible for us to fully reciprocate the love and support they have shown us throughout our lives, we promise to make them proud by growing into people who know how to love and care for others. On behalf of my class, thank you to all the parents out there. And thank you, Mom and Dad, for always guiding me in the right direction and for being there through all the ups and downs. I truly admire you for your bravery and perseverance. Now, I know there is a bright future ahead of us, and there is no doubt about that. As Keystone students, we are driven individuals equipped with the skills for success. But what I've been trying to get at throughout this whole speech is that all of our accomplishments were made possible by the mentors, supporters, friends, and family in our lives. So today, I want all of us to take a moment to give our sincere thanks to the people who have helped us along our journey, and pledge to ourselves that we will prove their support worthy, that we will become successful individuals, not in terms of wealth or status, but in terms of character. And although we will soon be scattered across the nation and live our separate lives, I hope that as a class, we will continue to provide love and encouragement for one another. Let's take everything Keystone has taught us, from how to work diligently to how to help others, and make our community proud. Thank you.
We have 4 awards to present at this time. The first is the Christopher Guzman Award for Excellence in the Arts. This year's recipient of the Guzman Award is a talented actress. She dominated the stage in her one scene in Macbeth, and this fall she did a memorable turn as Cinderella's evil stepmother in Into the Woods. She was perfectly wicked in this portrayal by playing much of the show with a syrupy, sweet delivery and a smile on her face, even as she chopped off heels and toes to fit her daughters into the glass slipper. Her work in A Midsummer's Night's Dream was sure to be spectacular, and she even choreographed a very exciting hip-hop number for the fairies to perform that was sure to bring the house down. This comes as no surprise, as she's traveled the nation showing off her amazing dance skills, when not showing off a bit with Keyshore at Halloween. This year's very talented winner of the Guzman Award is Sofia Rios. Congratulations. Very proud of you. Yeah. Congratulations. The Brian Yeager Spirit Award is given to the senior who best embodies the spirit of leadership, work ethic, fellowship, and heartfelt concern for others. The recipient of this year's Yeager Spirit Award has been a taskmaster, an organizer, a spirited leader, and an advocate for change. She could always be found helping out around campus, especially at the little school, where she has left quite an impression and legacy. Our winner is also known for being for leading a very successful volleyball program and for being our other female co-athlete of the year. She possesses a comfort and confidence about her where she could often bring class concerns to my attention or just point out ways to make Keystone an even better place. Her concern for what is morally right, her strong leadership skills, and her personal confidence is exactly what we expect in a military officer. And we are proud that she will be attending West Point starting this summer. The recipient of this year's award is Bella Sullivan. There's your Athlete of the Year. And there's your Spirit Award. Congratulations. This year we have a new award to honor Mrs. Elizondo. The Elizondo Award will be given annually to the senior who showed the most resilience, grit, and growth during their upper school career. I first met this year's recipient during their 9th grade year, their first at Keystone. He stood out for his obvious intelligence, but I think Keystone's rigor led to an initially tough first semester. We talked some about how to succeed at Keystone between conversations regarding his rotating collection of 21 Pilots t-shirts. His determination paid off, and as he excelled academically, he never looked back. But that wasn't the end of his grit. Many students describe Keystone like a full-time job. This guy's been working one, lots of hours on top of that at Best Buy the last few years, while maintaining strong grades. Finally, as Keystone Baseball's #1 pitcher, he often did extra work in doubleheaders with success, grace, and nary a complaint. He has come a long way, yet I sense that we are just seeing him come fully into his own. I am proud to award the inaugural Elizondo Award to Ben Felton. Congratulations. And our final award. The K Award is given to the senior who best exemplifies scholarship, service, extracurricular activities, and school spirit. The recipient of this year's K Award has been a remarkable presence across so many disciplines. She has won awards for creative writing, and she has represented Keystone internationally at science fairs. She has led her senior class for 4 years while keeping incredibly strong grades, playing volleyball, and having a wonderful presence in our theater program. We often describe Keystone students as Renaissance men and women, and this young woman fits that to a T. A Keystone lifer, it'll be hard to envision this place without her smile, her keen wit, and her kind demeanor. I am pleased to award the 2020 K Award to Beryl Saigan. Congratulations. Excuse me, the wind keeps turning my pages. All right, seniors, allow us now to turn from individual awards to deserved recognition of each of you. You will be here on this stage because of your drive, your commitment to each other, and for your love of learning. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that each of these students has met the requirements for Keystone School for graduation. Mr. Billy Handmaker will call each of you individually. You'll come up to the corner of the stage, and you'll bask in your glory as we read lots of wonderful things about you. And then you'll come across to here and receive your diploma. Stand here for a picture, and then head back to your seat. Mr. Handmaker?
So before I begin, I was remiss in not thanking one other group of people. As you can imagine, when you put out a call for volunteers and say, but we need you to be here at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, you're not exactly inundated. I want to thank the volunteers who are in the back for coming and joining and helping us this morning. Seniors, as I began working on this speech in the first days of spring break, it feels now like a world ago. We are looking forward to a regular fourth quarter, and even though there are plans in place in case of a pandemic, we still thought naively that your senior year would end like those of previous classes. Well, we all know what happened next. We can now say that your senior year will stand out as completely different than your predecessors. While you still took AP tests like other classes, your exams were online. Your college announcement day was a collection of videos rather than being in the gym in person. You had a final stone soul, but it was virtual. You took classes, but they were via Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And even though you were not on campus physically, we still thought of you, and we felt your presence as individuals and as a class. We missed you more than you can know. We want to commend you on how well you handled the situation, You taught us how to deal with adversity, and we appreciate your perseverance and your grace. While your final quarter of high school was different than previous years, you do have much in common with your predecessors. Like other classes at Keystone, you have been extraordinarily successful. You performed admirably in your classes, and 40% of your class was recognized by the National Merit Corporation. You were accepted to the finest colleges and universities in the country. You won the Academic World Quest competition for the 10th year in a row, and your performances on stage entertained and challenged us. You were the first senior class to take music, and your performance in Stone Soul earlier this year demonstrated how right it was to offer that class. In athletics, you led the soccer, volleyball, and girls basketball teams to the state tournaments, and you represented your school with class and with dignity. You volunteered countless hours at Keystone and in the community, and as a result, you made our school and San Antonio better off than they would have been. As educators, we know that each class has its own personality, and your class is no different. Beyond your accomplishments, there are at least two components that I would argue characterize you as a class. First of all, you epitomize the motto that I grew up with, and my wife and I have tried to impart to our children. You don't ask, you don't get. Whether it was meeting with a world-famous author, working with a physicist in the Middle East, creating a summer sports camp, and many other examples, you had the courage to request and the persistence to follow through. We commend you for your audacity to pursue what you desired. In addition, and I know this adjective may not be as powerful as your English teachers would wish, and Ms. Elizondo, I do apologize, I and many others would describe your class as sweet. You are kind to each other, you're considerate of adults, and you have a caring disposition that makes you a joy to be around. As you go on to the perhaps harsher worlds of college and beyond, please, class of 2020, don't ever lose your sweetness. Our world desperately needs your kind of compassion right now. Now I have the good fortune to discuss each of you individually, and in the process share things that classmates and teachers wrote about you. I will also share a quotation that I hope pertains to who you are or where you may be headed. Abby, come on up. With all the research you've done over the years, Abby, you are truly Lord of the Flies. Using 5,000 fruit flies allowed you to study topics like secondhand smoke and its effect on lifespan, reproduction, and mutation. Along the way, you participated in 3 science fairs, and you've gone to ISIF twice, and you would have gone this year, if not for the pandemic. You also spent your summers as a Volcker intern at the UT Health Science Center. Not just a STEM star, Abby, you were also strong in the humanities, taking 6 classes in your junior and senior years, and you are an outstanding artist, as witnessed by your beautiful a cappella version of the Norah Jones song Don't Know Why at a Stone Soul earlier this year, or the painting you showed at the final Stone Soul. One teacher said you have spread a positive and energetic influence within your section. You are both humble and hardworking, and you know how to be a productive member of a team. Unfortunately, Abby, you were also somewhat injury-prone, which made you being a 3-sport athlete all the more impressive. Your classmates comment on your willingness to help others during free periods, your passion, and your drive. Simply put, Abby, you do it all, and you do it well. The 1995 Nobel Prize in Physiology recipient, Christiane Nicene Volhard, once said, "I immediately loved working with flies. They fascinated me and followed me around in my dreams." Abby, we hope fruit flies don't follow you in your dreams, but we do look forward to hearing about your research at Vanderbilt University. Abigail Tira Parker. Burrell, Of all the ways we will remember you, Brill, perhaps the most haunting is as Banquo's ghost, standing on a table, staring blankly at us while blood dripped from your eyes. You gave me nightmares, and I warned parents of young children to beware if they are going to see the play. So how does this ghostly image mesh with your reputation as the mom of the class? Your classmates describe you as the epitome of a Renaissance woman. You are a natural-born leader, as seen by your serving as class president 4 years in a row, but like an acrobat, you balance excellent work in class with theater, volleyball, tennis, and tutoring. Your ability and your work ethic in science took you to 2 ICE of Science fairs, where you received a second Grand Prize award, while also interning during the summers in the Volcker program. No slouch in the humanities, you also won a national silver medal in the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. Nevertheless, you're much more than just an outstanding student. You're also an admirable person. Your classmates describe you as funny, sweet, studious, hardworking, and smart yet humble. One of the kindest people I've come to know over my time at Keystone was what one classmate said. And lest you think that your efforts go unnoticed, you are also cited as one of the best dressed people at school, whose experimentations with outfits reflect your vibrant and quirky personality. A scholar, music and theater lover, athlete, and a great friend, you seem to do it all with grace and poise. As the Turkish novelist Elif Şafak once said, "Fret not where the road will take you. Instead, concentrate on the first step." That's the hardest part, and that's what you are responsible for. Brill, we look forward to seeing where the road takes you at UT Austin next year. Brill, Lara, Saigen. Dylan, come on up. Somebody once said that 90% of life is just showing up. Well, you have done this quite impressively, having never missed a day of school. I went back and checked that twice just to make sure, Dylan. Whether it's practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, doing parkour, playing baseball, or making paninis, you show up physically and you show up mentally. Your classmates describe you as one of the few non-procrastinators they've ever met. You have always been your own person who pursues your own research, your own passions, while maintaining core values of integrity and respect. Your peers describe you as sweet, kind, funny, genuinely nice, and a great friend. You are independent from groupthink, and as a result, you come up with random and out-of-the-box ideas. You discovered at a young age that one of the secrets of being a great communicator is being an excellent listener. You march to your own drummer, but you also give of yourself, like foregoing your lunch to teach Spanish to kindergartners. Your eccentric personality can keep people entertained for hours. Perhaps most importantly, you have a good heart, and you would never say anything to hurt someone's feelings. You already practice what Jiu-Jitsu master Carlos Garcia Jr. preaches when he says, "Discipline and consistency. I owe these 2 factors to all I have attained in my life. Things have never happened overnight. Results have appeared as a consequence of decades-long toil. It is necessary to persist." Dylan, we look forward to seeing how you channel your energies at Trinity University next year. Dylan James McManus. Donnie, come on up. As the head of school, I had many opportunities to see our Keystone students shine. One example was at this year's World Affairs Council dinner when you gave one of the keynote addresses. It was incredibly heartening when a former American ambassador made a point of finding me afterward to say, "Your student is amazing." I could not have been more proud as I proceed to enlighten this diplomat on how truly amazing you are. There are few sights that bring as much of a smile as watching you run from class to class, lugging your books and bursting with curiosity. Your love for learning for the sake of your own enlightenment makes you a joy to teach. In a class filled with polymaths, you have an insatiable thirst to know more, whether it's science, history, music, or robotics, where you and your teammates took first place. You have also been in the Volker Biomedical Academy 3 years in a row, while also being part of the Academic World Quest Champion team, along with Minji, Eric, and Jack, that led Keystone to its 10th championship in a row. Like your classmates, you are unconditionally kind, and always take steps to boost other people's moods by helping them or sending funny memes in your group chat. You constantly compliment others and make a point of saying the small but meaningful things that brighten everyone's day. And finally, did I mention you're an Eagle Scout? As you head on to Southern Methodist University, Donnie, please bear in mind these 2 pieces of advice from J.R.R. Tolkien. Go not to the elves for counsel, for they will say both no and yes. And all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Donald Eric Duggan. Emma. Those are amazing shoes. Emma, you are a writist. You're an artist. You're an artist and a writer, so you're a writist. A dancer, a feminist, an environmentalist, a careful observer of all that is around you, and you are a citizen of the world. You use your knowledge of French for lofty purposes, like translating survivors' documents for the San Antonio Holocaust Museum, but also for things more mundane, as in a class project when you and your partner created a dating website for lonely fishermen in the Atlantic and Mediterranean that was inspired by your readings on microfinance in the Francophone world. We didn't forget that. You have wowed us with your performances on stage, having been in just about every play possible in your time at Keystone, while also playing soccer and managing the team. We also know that you have quite a talent for accents, including Irish, British, Scottish, French, Australian, and Italian. Your classmates describe you as unapologetically yourself, independent and willing to speak your truth. A lover of art and theater, you also excel in English and history, and you demonstrate the best in humanities scholarship. When someone is down, you listen and provide words of comfort and reassurance. You seek out ways to help others, whether it's just being there for them or making sure the girls' bathrooms are properly stocked. Emma, as you move on to Trinity University in Dublin, please remember the words of Douglas Adams. Let the past hold on to itself, and let the present move into the future. Emma, Sophia, Guy, Bishop. Erica. Many of you in this class are avid readers, and we commend you for your bibliophilia. However, it's going above and beyond a love for books when you reach out to a world-renowned best-selling author such as Amor Tolls and ask him if you can meet him when you're in Manhattan just to talk. And then he accepts. Whether it's playing in the band, competing in Quiz Bowl or Model UN, you're fun, energetic, enthusiastic, and you're always up for a challenge. As a student, you demonstrate shrewd powers of insight, and you are able to engage in serious, thoughtful discussions on a variety of topics. You make a point to include everyone and never leave someone out. An excellent student, you have an ability to communicate difficult ideas in an easy to understand and fun way. Your sense of organization helps you live an admirably balanced life, whether it's bringing students from different grades together, writing a paper on the way that dress codes hurt girls in school, or interning at HEB during the summer. After hearing about suicides among young people in San Antonio, you decided to actually do something about it and serve on the Teen Advisory Board for Suicide Prevention. A baseball fan, you can also be found at the Art Museum or speaking out on issues like LGBT rights and educational disparities in San Antonio. You seem to understand intuitively, Erica, what Amor Tolls meant when he said, by their very nature, human beings are so capricious, so complex, so delightfully contradictory, that they deserve not only our consideration, but our reconsideration. We wish you the best considering and reconsidering your classmates at Tulane University next year. Erica Blair Stocker. Griffin. Coming to a new school in 9th grade can be challenging. Starting in 10th grade might be even more difficult. But arriving in 11th grade, well, that can be brutal. You made this transition gracefully, and people say that it feels like you've been in the class forever. This speaks to your engaging personality. As a matter of fact, one of your classmates said, I'm glad you came to Keystone and made our grade all the better. You're described as smart, knowledgeable, and fun to talk to. Another person expressed gratitude for bringing your laid-back California attitude to Keystone and making us a better and perhaps more chill school. You combine a knowledge about entrepreneurship with a passion for baseball, Jimmy John's, and In-N-Out Burger. You have an ability to guide others, whether it's playing catcher on the baseball team or being the assistant director in shows. A good friend, you give real and honest advice. You help people in classes and accompany friends on late-night food runs. They say you are always doing some crazy project or a cool job, but you are always low-key about it. An independent soul, you know a lot about random things. You make off-the-wall comments that somehow are relevant, and you have your own website and marketing business. As you head on to the University of Edinburgh, Griffin, please heed the words of Steve Perry, lead singer and the San Francisco Giants theme song. And don't stop believing in yourself and all you can accomplish. Griffin Wen Gallagher. Ingrid, come on up. Over your time at Keystone Seniors, we have enjoyed watching you all compete in athletics. Many of you excel in one sport, some of you are really good in two, and a few are strong in 3 sports. Then there's you, Ingrid, who is a national champion and has competed internationally in 5 sports. That's right, 5. Running, shooting, swimming, fencing, and riding horses. Over the past few years, you won the gold medal in the U.S. Pentathlete Championships and finished first in fencing at the World Championships in Bulgaria. You've won 4 titles at the USA National Championships and competed in 3 World Championships. As impressive as these accomplishments are, and they are impressive, you are also an outstanding student, a leader in Model UN who won Distinguished Delegate for representing the Congo at San Antonio's largest Model UN conference, and president of the Foreign Language Club, who, like others, taught Spanish to kindergartners during your lunch period. You admirably balance school, competitive sports, and being a kind person who brightens classes with your laughter. You're kind and respectful, but you also speak your mind and state your opinion. One might argue that pentathlon is an appropriate metaphor for the well-rounded approach you bring to your entire life. Your classmates described you as the inviting Keystonian for the way you show new people around and help them find their way. Your desire to help others, Ingrid, fulfills what the writer Molière said about fencing. The secret to fencing consists in two things: to give and to not receive. We wish you the very best as you continue giving next year at Southern Methodist University. Ingrid Varela, Mayor. Iris, come on up. Your out-of-school activities are as eclectic as your work at school. Whether it's completing crossword puzzles, practicing vinyasa yoga, or scooping ice cream as a summer job, you are well-versed in many areas. You're on the Quiz Bowl team, you've been a STUCO rep, you're an editor of the literary magazine, and you participate in Model UN. You're equally committed to the humanities and STEM-related fields, and your love of learning has earned you the respect of your peers. You speak up in class discussions, and people describe you as very nice, sweet, and fun to be around. Your classmates say that you are passionate about everything you do, you are honest, and you are fiercely protective of your friends. You're invested in learning about the world around you, and you will stand up for what you think is right. You care for other students, and you have an outgoing personality. A concerned citizen, you study current events and languages and other topics outside of school. You are unwavering in your beliefs, but you love to assist people when they are struggling or need any type of help. As you move on to Tufts next year, Iris, please bear in mind the words of Miguel de Cervantes. Believe there are no limits but the sky. Lyra Iris Sky Rodriguez. Jack, come on up. As a participant, let me start. One of your classmates said, Jack, that you are passionate about things that go high up. As a participant in the Texas High School Aerospace Scholar Program, you received an all-expense-paid trip to the NASA Johnson Space Center last summer. However, you're not somebody whose head is in the clouds. You are funny and sweet, and you are honest and smart. You move between the baseball diamond and the band room, and you are one of the most cool commuters to school as you glide down Craig on your skateboard. Your extrovert, charismatic, and outgoing nature have made you a successful camp counselor at San Antonio Academy. Not one merely a turn-in an AP US history assignment, you came as a 19th century social reformer with props, and you shared snacks with your classmates that your reformer was known to eat. You served as vice president of the National Honor Society, and you have a passion for photography. People say that you're fun to be around, you're there to help others, and they can rely on you. Always willing to try new things, I can recall you drinking the gelatinous goop from the aloe plant in Florida to see what it tasted like. Your comment was pretty disgusting. And those of us who chaperoned the trip still wonder how you and Kishore and Dylan managed to tip a canoe in 3 feet of water. I have enjoyed our conversations about life while sipping on a Waterloo, and I hope as you move on to Northeastern University, you take to heart the words of former astronaut and U.S. Senator John Glenn. If there's one thing I've learned in my years on this planet, is that the happiest and most fulfilled people are those who devoted themselves to something bigger and more profound than merely their own self-interest. Jack Parker Osterhage. Jada, come on up. The list of things you have done outside of school goes on and on and on. You worked with the Girl Up Foundation and were selected as MC of the 2018 National Girl Leadership Summit, where you advocated for equality for girls around the world. You were selected to participate in Texas Girls State last summer, where you debated bills on the House floor, ran for county attorney, and won the primary and final elections. You have worked with Healthy Futures of Texas Youth Advocacy Council, and you have been a member of the National Society of Black Engineers since you were in 3rd grade. You were also involved in school activities. You were a state qualifier in swimming for many years before you decided to quit because, as you explained over lunch one day to me, you don't like getting wet. Never wanted to stop testing yourself, you decided to come out for volleyball in your senior year, and you played the witch in the musical Into the Woods. You are never afraid to speak up and out for those things in which you believe, and you do so eloquently. You're an excellent student who is also hilarious, and your energy makes any situation fun. You know what you want, and you go after it. As you head to UNC Chapel Hill, Jada, we hope you live out the words of Maya Angelou. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Jada Simone Young. Katie, come on up. In this day and age, we talk a lot about grit and resilience. However, not many people could come back from not just 1, but 2 ACL tears and score 25 points in our final high school basketball game. When you sank that 3-point shot early in the year to win the game at New Braunfels Christian Academy, you lived out every basketball player's dream. And in typical fashion, Katie, you were humble about it. It's because of your ability, but also your courage, that you were named first team all-district all 4 years of high school, all-state second team as a sophomore, all-state first team as a junior, and all-state second team and academic all-state as a senior. You lead by example, and you put yourself out there in all you do, whether it's on the court or as vice president and president of STUCO. You excel in STEM-related fields, but you're also a talented artist. Whatever you do well, including co-editor of the Keynote and maintaining the social media account for the paper. One of your classmates describes you as a soft-spoken soldier whose demeanor is sweet, quiet, and kind, but this is not to be confused with submissiveness. You're level-headed during stressful situations, and you're calm and respectful toward others. You have shown, Katie, that you understand what Sarah Lewis, an assistant professor of art history and architecture and African American studies at Harvard University, meant when she said that grit is not just a simple elbow grease term for rugged persistence. It is an often invisible display of endurance that lets you stay in an uncomfortable place, work hard to improve upon a given interest, and do it again and again. We look forward to seeing how you display grit at Olin College of Engineering next year. Katie Minshaw Fleming. Kiri, come on up. The other players were so happy when you decided to join the soccer team in your senior year, due in part to your ability, but also due to your winning personality. People say that you're fun to be around, and you keep your cool, except when it involves your favorite soccer teams. You work hard, and you always do the necessary preparation beforehand that allows you to get things done and makes projects fun. As somebody said, not only are you constantly giggling and smiling, but you go out of your way to make others laugh. You have an unusual ability to look at a complex topic from all sides and adjust an argument when you're confronted by new facts as seen in your paper on countries that ban the veil. You're always willing to help others with homework and studying, but you also aid those less fortunate in our society by volunteering on weekends at Haven for Hope or working at a battered women's shelter in your role as vice president of the Foreign Language Club. You're a funny storyteller with a contagiously positive attitude towards everything. You're another academic all-state player, Carrie, and as such, you know intuitively the wisdom in what America women's soccer great Carly Lloyd says. Life is complicated. Life is going to throw all kinds of obstacles in your way. All I can tell you is what works for me. Be true to yourself, don't do fake, and above all else, keep on working, because that's what will take you where you want to go. We look forward to seeing where you will go at Southern Methodist University next year. Kiri Tracy Hulk. Kishore. Not many guys can pull off looking great dancing hip-hop in a hot pink tutu in the annual Halloween contest, but you did. Like this dance performance, you make the hardest and most complicated things look easy, whether it's playing basketball through incredible pain while earning academic all-state, or finding a logical solution to a difficult problem. People describe you as super funny, with a sarcastic sense of humor, but also very chill and kind, and always willing to lend a help hand to people who are struggling. This ability to do high-level work while looking out for others can be seen in your selection for the prep program at UT, where you received honors distinction and performed research at UT Health Science Center. You were also president of the Texas Indo-Physician Society Junior Volunteer Program, and you volunteered at Camp working with children. You're strong in the sciences, but you have an artistic side that's expressed in your music making and posting your rap songs to SoundCloud. Your sense of style and coolness seems to draw people to you. You provide honest opinions, good advice, and you are someone people can trust. As you move on to UT Austin to study nutritional sciences, Kishore, please bear in mind what Plato said. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Kishore Kumar Reddy Butla. Mario, come on up. Being the first at anything can be tricky. There are no models to follow and nobody to ask for advice. Consequently, when you were the first high school student to intern with Overland Partners, nobody knew what to expect. When Overland realized how good you would be, they asked you to extend the internship long after it was supposed to end. While this may have surprised them, we saw it as perfectly predictable. We've known for years that you're bright, hardworking, you do excellent work, and you have a strong commitment to issues of social justice. Over the past few years, your poetry has earned honors in the Scholastic Art and Writing competitions. You're the head debate editor for the Keynote, and you're the treasurer for StuCo. As Wellness Council president, you've done a great deal to improve student health and strengthen the club itself. You're more, though, than just a list of all you've achieved. According to your classmates, you're sweet, humorous, hardworking, selfless, and willing to help others in any way you can. They also say that you will make a great husband and dad one day because you're so good-natured and considerate. And you tell great jokes 24/7. You combine empathy and integrity. Consequently, you will be a great role model. As you head off to Stanford, Mario, please remember the words of author Julia Alvarez. The point is not to pay back kindness, but to pass it on. Mario Gerard Nicholas. Benji, come on up. As editor of the yearbook, you seem to be everywhere and always with a camera. You're an outstanding student and an excellent musician, as evidenced by your role as a principal flautist in the Youth Orchestra of San Antonio. Your musicianship has also taken you to the highly selective summer masterclass at Interlochen to work with world-renowned flutists. Along with Donnie, you're part of the Fab Four Academic World Quest team and continue the run of first-place finishes for a decade. And with the Keystone Robotics team, you advance to the state and regional competitions. Your successes can be attributed to your outstanding personal qualities. You're a hard worker, you have strong opinions, and you garner the facts to back up what you say. Your classmates cite your loyalty, your honesty, your brilliance, and your humility. You combine determination, intelligence, and strong people skills, and you command respect for your time management and your ability to reason out and solve problems. You're committed to immigration issues, like volunteering last summer for 4 weeks to help refugees navigate the airport. As you prepare to start an entirely new life at Northwestern next year, Minji, please hold on to the words of author Susan Cain. So stay true to your own nature. If you like to do things in a slow and steady way, don't let others make you feel as if you have to race. If you enjoy depth, don't force yourself to seek breadth. If you prefer single tasking to multitasking, stick to your guns. Being relatively unmoved by rewards gives you the incalculable power to go your own way. Minji Kim. Nick. Talk about eclectic. You are a triathlete, a welder, a shortstop, a chess player, a carpenter, and a philosopher. You're a deep thinker who really wants to understand the meaning behind things. In addition, you're calm and mild-mannered. You do well in the sciences because you understand the value of hard work. Your classmates claim that you're a quiet, cool guy in general. You have a great sense of humor. You're nice. You're the funniest person ever. And very importantly, you're a very snazzy dresser with a wonderful sense of style. You're a loyal and good friend who has an ability to make others laugh with your sharp wit. You enjoy educated conversations, and you have insightful and smart perspectives. You are helpful on team projects, and you invest time into your coursework to better understand the material that doesn't come to you naturally. In order to learn more about the practice of medicine, you shadow doctors in the medical field during the summer. As a fan of Jean-Michel Basquiat, you understand the intersection of art and social justice and how art can be a force for good. And you show amazing discipline, reporting to work at the San Antonio Country Club at 4:30 in the morning every Saturday. As you head off to Tulane University and one day to medical school, Nick, please heed the words of the physician writer Atul Gawande. Better is possible. It does not take genius. It takes diligence. It takes moral clarity. It takes ingenuity. And above all else, it takes a willingness to try. Nicholas James Radwin. Noah. If you look up the definition of chutzpah, you will find this: shameless audacity. Now, sometimes chutzpah has a negative connotation, but sometimes it is what is required to do something truly exciting and unique. Chutzpah might be defined as writing to a theoretical physicist in Israel to let him know that you want to spend your summer vacation studying with him. Once you were told yes, you packed your bags to go live in Israel and study with other physicists in the lab. It is this willingness to take chances and try new things that has characterized so much of what you do. However, this bravery has been combined at times with a sense of humor and loyalty to others. For example, after getting caught playing a prank last year, you took the blame instead of calling out the other people who participated. Your classmates note that you're a really fun person to have as a friend due to your kindness and prankster heart. They say that you're spontaneous and you always have a crazy story to tell. Friends admire your willingness to question authority when you disagree with something. I saw this myself when I marched with you in Burrell recently. We all know that your true passion is cars. You even started a business to detail cars, do maintenance, and provide power washing. So as we head into the summer, Noah, and you prepare for college next year, please remember the words of General Colin Powell. Always focus on the front windshield and not the rearview mirror. Noah Liam Spitz. Patrick, come on up. Of all the memories we may have of you, one of my favorites may be when you led everyone in the audience at Stone Soul in a sing-along to a Chinese rap song. This is perfectly understandable after you're selected to participate in a U.S. State Department summer program to study Chinese in Xiamen. You've been an excellent student at Keystone who is also very creative and willing to take risks, as seen in your impersonation of former Louisiana Governor Huey Long when you sang protest songs and recited lines from long speeches that you'd memorized. Whether you're playing soccer or tennis or working on your study of Chinese, you try your hardest in all you do. You do not give up easily. When a class is challenging, you do everything you can to understand the material. More than just a great student, your classmates comment on your selflessness, your kindness, and the way you're nice to everyone around you. Every morning, you ask people how their day is going, and your consideration for others is genuine. One person nominated you as the nicest kid at Keystone. As Ms. Christensen told me, Patrick, you're the kind of person who every time one of your classmates learned that he or she had been admitted to a school, you went to her office and asked her to print the logo for the wall to ensure that everyone's admit was there. You also understand the benefits of playing on a team and how you can be there for others. As you move on to Indiana University, Patrick, please continue, as you have done up to now, to live out the teachings of Confucius, who said, wisdom, compassion, and courage are the three universally recognized moral qualities of men. Patrick Thomas Conroy. Sophie, come on up. In talking about you, we must start with your dancing, which led to both regional and national awards. And you danced in a Taco Bell commercial. You and Kishore have entertained people for years with your Halloween dances, and we will miss them next year. You're a very strong student who is also a leader on Wellness Council. While you're described by your classmates as literally the sweetest person I know, you also did a great job playing the role of the head witch in the Scottish play last year. You're talented and humble, and you demonstrate so much love for the people you care about. According to your classmates, you give hugs like no one else, and you make everything more enjoyable. You know how to lighten the mood in any given situation, but also how to be serious and have a deep conversation. Your optimism lifts the spirits of others and makes you a fun person to be around. You show a constant kindness toward other people, which combined with a humorous personality, makes you a magnetic individual. You have a real skill at coordinating and communicating with others and excellent people skills. As you move on to UT Austin, Sophie, please bear in mind the words of the Colombian Nobel laureate Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who said, no matter what, nobody can take away the dances you've already had. and the spirit of her invincible heart guided her through the shadows. Sofia Isabella Rios. Victoria, come on up. A Suzuki-trained pianist, you are also the secretary of the Foreign Language Club, the manager of the volleyball and basketball teams, and the assistant director of theater productions. Somebody in your class said, when they think of Keystone, you are what comes to mind. You are curious to understand why things are the way they are, rather than just memorizing facts. You're described as laid back, but also willing to share your opinions. You're the type of person to be around when you don't want to stress out, and you're thoughtful and interesting to talk to. According to your classmates, you have an interesting and unique viewpoint on almost everything, while being welcoming to everyone in the grade. You're a very talented musician and a creative artist who is also responsible and insightful. While many people are characterized as smart, you are described as wise, and you appreciate the value of community in the life of an individual. You hold the world to your own standard, and if things don't match it, you do something about it. As you create a new community at Haverford College, Victoria, please remember what the Canadian philosopher and theologian Jean Vanier said. One of the marvelous things about community is that it enables us to welcome and help people in a way we couldn't as individuals. Victoria Ilienne Nelson. Yuki, come on up. So there we were, all of us in our wetsuits. Some people's lips were blue, most of us were shivering, and we were all ready to go back. But not you. You just kept on swimming with the manatees. From what we saw, you would have been happy to stay out there all day. With your wide-ranging interests, we should not have been surprised. You're a black belt in Taekwondo, you love YA fiction and Shakespeare, you're a leader in robotics, you read Greek mythology, and as one of your classmates said, you're unbelievably funny and punny. You're Keystone's Leonardo da Vinci, as you have an engineering mind and an artist's sensibilities. You use your talents to help others, while also being a voracious reader. Your glee inspires others and makes their day. As one person said, you're a nerd in the best sense of the word, as your enthusiasm for learning sweeps others along with you. You work well with people, you cooperate and compromise, and you have a robust problem-solving ability. You provide huge help to classmates in math, you're always patient, and your bubbling laugh and personality makes being sad around you pretty much impossible. Watching you, Yuki, makes us wonder, as it is said in Hamilton, how on earth do you do that with the same 24 hours a day that everyone else gets? Next year at UT Austin, you will be in the room where it happens, and we look forward to hearing about it. Yuki Pan. Aditi. The same discipline that allows you to be an excellent student also makes you a very good photographer and an amazing Indian dancer. You're confident in your abilities in the classroom, and you love to share your knowledge with others. You combine studiousness with compassion. Your interest in engineering led you to do a summer program at UT, and according to your teachers, you make interesting comments in literature discussions. You speak 2 languages fluently, and people say they never heard you say a mean word about anybody in any language. Maybe your equanimity stems from your being a practitioner of yoga. You listen well to others while complimenting many people. As a result, you always show a gentle nature and kindness. You extend the same consideration to animals. Consequently, you have a strong commitment to environmental sustainability. You developed a system to limit water collection and naturally repel mosquitoes and avoid killing them with spray or covering yourself with DEET. As you prepare to attend the University of Texas Dallas in the fall, Aditi, always keep in mind the words of the nature writer Rachel Carson. Those who dwell among the beauties and mysteries of the earth are never alone or weary of life. Aditi Subramanya. Bella, come on up. Sometimes a person becomes so famous that they are known by their first name only. You know, Madonna, LeBron, Pele, Beyonce. Well, this is how it is when you walk through the cafeteria behind you during lower school lunch. It seems like every student in the lower school knows your name, runs up to you in an adoring way, and as I learned, walking behind you can be rather humbling. Your graduating today may single-handedly alter the babysitting scene in San Antonio. Your love for little children led you to work at the little school and to create Friday dance parties while we were in distance learning. You're an outstanding student, responsible leader, and confident individual who's not afraid to speak your mind and do the research to support your opinions. Your writing combines the best of academic research with the power of personal narrative, as seen in your essays on cultural appropriation and racism. You have an ability to understand complex situations and consider things from different points of view. You make friends easily with your extrovert personality, and you work as hard as anybody. You make others around you better than you would otherwise be. And oh yeah, you're a pretty good volleyball player. As seen by your being selected first team All-State, co-MVP of the district, and academic All-State. You bounce back from setbacks, and you know, Bella, that as former First Lady Michelle Obama said, instead of letting your hardships and failures discourage or exhaust you, let them inspire you. Let them make you even hungrier to succeed. We look forward to hearing about your successes at the United States Military Academy at West Point. Isabella Grace Sullivan. Ben, come on up. In ninth grade, your family and you moved to San Antonio and you came to Keystone. Early on, you showed that you were determined and hardworking, whether it's pitching on the baseball team, competing in Quiz Bowl, or working on a calculus problem. You're an excellent computer programmer. You actually build computers, and you tutor other students in programming. You know the software and the hardware side of things. You do well in everything you put your mind to, and you make friends easily. You're very sincere. You give honest, meaningful advice, and you seem to go out of your way to make others feel good every day. You're charismatic, a passionate tech expert, and you're always introducing people to something new, whether it's the latest song or a TikTok. You manage to combine hard work with a relaxed, positive attitude while demonstrating incredible time management, balancing school, and almost full-time job. You provide stress relief in times of heightened anxiety, and you're very easy to talk to and fun to spend time with. In addition to being an admirable student, you're also a musician, whether it's composing pieces electronically or playing alto sax or piano. Ben, you're like the musical artist Brian Eno, who said, "You can't really imagine music without technology." We wish you the best imagining new and exciting things next year at Columbia University. Benjamin Akiva Felsen. Steph, come on up. Your classmates say you never fail to make them laugh, whether it's with you or at you. As an accomplished writer, you received 2 silver medals in the National Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. You enjoyed learning about the French Revolution so much that you went home and wrote a short story inspired by it that received a National Silver Medal. You were chosen for both the Interlochen and the Iowa Summer Writers Workshop. You've been an intern at Gemini Inc., and you're the head poetry editor for Keystone's literary magazine. Perhaps you should have seen this coming when you wrote your first novel in middle school. You're also one of the co-presidents of NHS. Wanting to help others, you organized a summer sports camp for students and found a job shadow opportunity with the Spurs, which makes sense since you're such a diehard fan. And oh yeah, you're a 2-sport threat on the volleyball and basketball courts, earning a second-team All-State and academic All-State in your senior year. You have a plan for everything, you know how to keep things operating smoothly, but being organized doesn't interfere with your sense of humor and sense of self. As you head to the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania to study business, Steph, don't forget the words of Emily Dickinson. Forever is composed of nows. Stephanie Kristen Rao. Paul, come on up. Last, but certainly not least, is the professor. Your love for history and your natural ability led to your being a Model UN for 4 years, earning Best Delegate last year, and serving as president this year. As a Sea Cadet, you completed Advanced Submarine School. You also did a cadet recruit training program at Camp Robinson and completed field operations in New Hampshire. As a budding politician, you participated in Boys State. You love playing with ideas, you're unafraid to speak your mind, and you're willing to stand up for your beliefs. You interned for the San Antonio nonprofit CAM, which provides social services for the homeless. And you're an academic All-State player on the soccer team. You're naturally astute, hardworking, and knowledgeable about a variety of subjects. You can be counted on for a good debate or conversation, where one can learn something. You always have an opinion on something, and you read St. Thomas Aquinas for fun. You have a specific moral code that you live by, and you're respectful toward everyone. Someone described you as a man of high intelligence, high independence, and high integrity. Like George Washington, Paul, you understand that human happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. We wish you the very best at the United States Military Academy at West Point next year. Paul Eugene Conroy. Class of 2020, as we prepare to send you on your way and we consider the legacy you will leave Keystone, we're not going to call you the COVID class because you are much more than that. As individuals, each of you is outstanding. As a group, you're even more incredible. Personally, I have enjoyed getting to know you, and I know I speak for the entire Keystone community when I say we will miss you. Since this is the final time I can call you this, seniors, congratulations. We wish you the very best.
The class of 2020 has chosen Mrs. Suzanne Elizondo to deliver some closing remarks this year. Please welcome her to the podium.
Today, you and I graduate together, and I'm honored to be part of your graduating class. Thank you for the honor you do me in asking me to speak to you, and I do account it an honor. More than any other class I've taught ever of any age, ranging from 6th graders to grandparents. This class is living proof that the quality of gratitude is alive and well. Individually and collectively, you have shown me your appreciation. Not only have you said and written expressions of gratitude, you've flattered me by listening patiently, even sometimes attentively, as I droned on about literature and the shortcomings I detected in your writing. And I intend to reward your gift to me by giving you a gift. I'll be brief today. For those of us who know the 20th century not through textbooks, but as a lived experience, these days are alarmingly familiar. Viruses, assassinations, and protest marches punctuated my youth. My parents circumscribed our lives to avoid the polio virus, for which Salt and Sabin had not developed a vaccine. I was a high school senior in Dallas when John Kennedy developed a vaccine. John Kennedy was assassinated, and schools and I listened to Jack Ruby kill Harvey Lee Oswald on the radio. This year, the year I graduated from college, was 1968. That year saw the assassination of Dr. King and Robert Kennedy and heralded a period of volcanic public upheavals, born of rage. Those events brought some changes for the better, but not enough, not nearly enough. What I want you to know is that you, like the generations before you, have the power to make more change. You need not leave the world as you find it today. You probably can't make the world exactly entirely to your liking, but you can take it forward a step, maybe 2 steps, maybe even 3. You can make progress towards seeing that our earth remains habitable, that our society nurtures all its people, that we once again open our arms to those in need wherever they are born. Whatever career or life you pursue, you have the power to make positive change. And I tell you today that I have confidence in you because I know you. I watched you even when you didn't think I did. You've made a habit of being part of solutions, not a part of the problems. Yes, compared to climate change and angry protests of injustice to our citizenry and cruelty to immigrants, the problems you have encountered so far may seem small to you, and the problems ahead may seem overwhelming. But you've made a beginning. One might say you've practiced. Most importantly, you have a moral compass. You have good hearts as well as good minds. We need you to lead your generation and the next to do the right thing. I know you, and I know you will. Go get them, Cobras.
Suzanne, please don't leave the stage yet. Please don't leave the stage yet. So, as many of you know, Suzanne Elizondo is retiring after 33 years of education at Keystone. We're going to miss her deeply, but if you could please stand and give her a round of applause for all of her years of service. Thank you so much. Ladies, you may be seated, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony is near its close. After the mortarboard toss, we ask the families and graduates wait in their seats until called by row to dismiss directly to their cars. The senior photos are yours to take with you, so please display them proudly wherever you so choose. But seniors, please rise. You may now flip your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, Keystone's class of 2020. Congratulations. Go Congratulations. All right. The Kims and the Rows, you may go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tony. Butler's and the Conroys. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Fleming civilians. Thank you so much. The mayors and the Felsons, thank you so much. The Guy Bishop family and the Wynn family, thank you so much.